Welcome to Mindly Way, where we explore life philosophies to grow and find the right path. Get ready to listen for an inner journey. I would like to offer encouragement to someone who may be considering giving up and quitting. If you're someone who has been praying for things to improve for years and you're considering giving up or quitting, don't give up. Sometimes in life, you have to do things one step at a time because you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up when you fall. You simply want to go, to escape the whole race, the whole business, the overwhelming monstrosity of life. We cannot resist the forces that cause us to become accustomed to our circumstances once we reach a certain point of pleasure. But if those circumstances are altered or don't turn out as planned, then suffering ensues. You kind of get lost along the journey and occasionally fall as you move in different directions. But even if I fail, I always have the option to try again because there's always a chance that I will succeed. The very fact that you're reading this should convince you that there is still hope. Happiness can be found anywhere in the world, in one's heart, or everything, and it's not limited to any one thing. Right now, I'm forced to be alone because I have a broken heart. But I just want you to know that it's not the end. If you're considering quitting, you're considering giving up, keep trying, keep going, stay concentrated. You have to take a fresh look at life and approach it head on. It's difficult. Even when you succeed, it feels like you're being pushed back. Regardless of the outcome, depression still sets in, as evidenced by the sheer number of teenagers and young adults in their 20s. Experiencing loneliness, anxiety, and sadness, one of the main problems that people on college campuses are facing is loneliness, which is through the roof. We reach our full potential when we can help others. Returning to depression and then anxiety. Going back to loneliness, I truly believe that's the answer, that's the way out of any kind of mental illness. Like, I'm gonna make myself a better person. I'm gonna make the world a better place in everything that I'm doing. I've got these two chariots and I'm going down this road, or I'm going down this road, or I'm going down both together. I've been there a lot in my life, especially before my car accident, my teenage years. Then the first woman I ever loved, we had a big breakup, and that breakup sent me down in depression and suicidal planning. And it's tough to dispense advice to people other than get help, and I'll share why. Because at that time in my life, I had so many people coming up to me. My friends would come into my dorm room, let's go do something. And there's the hope is lost, and what people I think make the mistake of trying to do is hype people up. Everything's gonna be okay, you're gonna be great. And what people need who are suicidal is serious psychological intervention. They need to seek support and help, and outside of that, when they do get that support, the first thing a great therapist is going to do outside of the emotional reflection work of why are you here and what has caused this sort of pattern for you, they're going to get you starting to get some momentum. The most important thing is when you are super down, outside of finding that emotional reasoning for where you are, is to start getting momentum. Because with momentum comes hope, with momentum comes motivation, with momentum comes that feeling that there's a reason for tomorrow. And so it's as simple as just saying, okay, what are 3 things I'm going to do today? And I don't mean that like a lot of personal development guys would say, like, what are your 3 big goals for the day? I'm like a dude sometimes. That first goal is SHH. I'm gonna shower today. I'm really in shower today. I'm gonna walk to the library and come home, and that's all they got. Like, literally, that's all they got. And you gotta honor that struggle when you're in that place. Like, know that where you're at, it is okay that you're there, and now you're gonna need help, and now you're gonna have to set up some daily practices. Just every day win a little bit, not like win your dreams, not like crush through goals, not like be badass, not like no, just momentum. Man, most of the guys I've dealt with in that position who were suicidal outside of their therapeutic work, I said the most important thing you can do is win the morning. I don't want to ever be flippant with the advice to people who are dealing with that situation outside of get some help. Get some momentum and be okay if that momentum is really small, because it will build. Trust that that momentum builds, and trust those gloomy and bad dark days. Trust that those are going to be there. They'll get less and less and less as you learn how to cope, but they're going to be there. And so when they're there, it's one of outside of teaching people to bring joy in my life, I teach people to honor the struggle, honor the difficulty. When we honor the struggle instead of hate the struggle, we can really achieve extraordinary things, because our mind sets in the right place. It accepts, like, as soon as you honor the struggle, you accept that, oh, of course there should be struggle. I should honor this process. When I go to the gym to work out, you like the honor that this is going to be hard, and it honors that process of getting better. And the more that you bring honor to it, the more your psyche builds with strength, and you get a little bit of that esteem back, because you see yourself engaging something versus avoiding it and running away. You see yourself connecting with something and giving it reverence. You're like I have reverence for the difficulties of life. They may be better, so I don't want a friction-free life. I'm not interested in it. I like to say sometimes that the journey to greatness begins the moment that our deep desires for comfort and ease are overpowered by our desires to connect and contribute. Because I look at veterans in the past. It was I think in World War I it was called shell shock. It was all these different things, but it was not acknowledged in the way that it is now. But I think it needs to be talked about more. I think the more things are talked about, the more comfortable we are, and the more we can understand them. When I woke up one morning and saw that in a tweet that Prince Harry came out talking about his depression, it made me really happy, because I have been to places where someone had said, well, you lost an arm and a leg, so you had a right to be depressed. And I stopped them. I was like, depression is real. You don't even have to go through something traumatic. Some are caused by, something traumatic. Some can be a chemical balance in the brain. And I feel like if you had heart problems and saw a cardiologist, well, everyone would be concerned about. You would know you're doing better, and it would be open and honest with the crew and anybody you work with. But the most complicated organ in your body, if you have a problem with it, suddenly there's a we don't want to talk about that. No, and you can get over it. And that's what people need to realize. You can be cured. You can get past it. That's what we need to realize. The reason I did it was that when I was in my depression, I thought I was alone. I didn't open up to anybody, so I thought someone's going to read this and it's going to help them. So I, just as nervous as I was about the book, I kept thinking that one person is going to read it well. Now let's open up this dialogue, and I'll go and I'll speak and we'll do Q&A. And people want to talk about what I gave a speech in Florida, and it was an older crowd. It was like I was gonna say they were old, and I speak what's on my heart. And I gave my speech, and as I was closing, I kind of mentioned some depression, because I was coming out of the winter months, and it hit me again this past winter, and I went and saw the doctor, and so it was on my mind and it came up. And as I was saying, I thought this generation of people probably aren't connecting to what I'm saying when I walked off the stage and they lined up the number of people that thanked me for talking about mental health, and here I was. I thought they didn't want to. I thought I was stepping out of line. No, it needs to be talked about. Because it's not just this generation, it's people are realizing more and more that it's an issue, and more we talk about it, the easier it is for people to be honest with themselves and get the help they need.